What's happening, Ron? Up there, it is. You got action. There it is. There it go. Oh,
What's good, man?
what's happening? Let me go and kick this intro off. I'll get us started. We'll get right in there, man.
All right, what's up? What's up?
Okay. Hey, I'm your host. This is me, D So Funny. This is So I Bond, man. Alive. Oh, IG podcast, man.
All right.
Okay, so I do this show, man, because people think what we do as comedians is easy. Sometimes when passing out flyers or be out in public and I tell people I'm a comedian, the first thing they say is, I'm funny. I should be a comedian too.
You're right.
And I gladly show them to the closest open mic, which they usually never show up to. You know how I go. But for some reason, people think what we do is easy, man. So I create this show so we can tell people about the times when it doesn't go good on stage for comedians. Because people don't know, man. It's not about the times that it does go well, but about the times that it doesn't for real, true comedians. Because knowing how to handle it, being able to go through the transition of going I
Right.
mean, as you do it on different levels. See, that's the whole thing
Right.
people don't understand. It's the levels to the ball.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got that, what we used to call the Hiroshima.
Boy, listen, hey,
Hey, when you hit a Hiroshima, man, that's the one that's especially bad, right?
but we ain't gonna jump right into your bomb story, man. We're gonna ask you a few questions, man. Let's just jump right into the questions.
All right.
What's the mm, what's the one thing you feel you gained from doing stand up comedy?
Oh man. Um, that's a good one, man, because I kind of feel like I gained a lot with skills, but um all my life I have been, doing performance kind of things. I grew up in church. I'm a musician. That was my first, artistic expression. So it was a lot of playing in church, a lot of Easter speeches, a lot of, just being outgoing and things like that. And I think the thing that was the most beautiful about comedy is I didn't realize that that was something that that was just made for me. That's what it seems like. The first time that I stepped on stage, um, I think it was kind of like I had like a culmination of all of the things that I've learned, growing up. It was like it was all. I didn't realize that all of that was there. So, kind of stepping on stage kind of uh, help find an identity, so to speak. It's almost like, it was a marriage made in heaven, when I got on stage. So I would say one thing, it was just finding an identity and just finding one of the ways that I best express myself. And that's very self-fulfilling, and it makes you feel like you have purpose. And from that, I found that a lot, and one of the other things that um, nowadays I do a lot of PA announcing and hosting events, and I'm an arena host for a semi-pro basketball team called Little Rock Lightning, which they just finished their fifth season, and I'm able to use a lot of the skills that I've learned since doing stand up. Being able to address the elephant in the room, being able to improvise. That's kind of one of the things that I have as a host that a lot of other hosts don't have. Like you've seen uh, different event hosts or people who aren't comedians that are hosting things and they try to be funny, and it's extremely corny. It's extremely corny. So I kind of feel like that's one of the things that's kind of helped me, in those spaces. Even now, I'm in grad school for social work, and one of the things with counseling, and one of the things that you want to do.
I'm going to cut you off. Congratulations on that.
Oh, hey,
On grad
appreciate it,
school.
man. I just I'm a year down. I got one more year to go. But
Okay,
even at,
you on the back hill side. You on the back hill side.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. So I just need to get it done, man. So, but one of the things that I've learned in as trying to be a therapist and trying to engage with people is getting them to open up and getting them to bring the walls down, helping them express themselves. And humor is, um, oh man, it is so important. Like if you're
Oh,
able
okay.
to make somebody
It's a
laugh.
major tool. It's a major tool.
Right? Because you got to think, people are shaped differently. People come from different places, so a lot of times when they're sitting in front of a counselor, some people have issues with like authority figures. They come in, especially like a social worker. People already, have their thoughts about what a social worker is, and a lot of them is negative.
Yeah.
So if you're able to make somebody laugh, that is a very, very useful tool in getting them to open up and express themselves. So, man, it's been a lot of things I've learned just on
Okay.
this journey, man. It's been
So
awesome.
so uh, how many years have you been doing stand up, or would you do you get to do enough stand up as an announcer to feel like it's considered, or like how many years have you been doing stand up? I guess that's the first question.
I am going to see. I started in 2009, and my thing has kind of just been going back and forth with life. So between 2009 and 2017, it was kind of here and there. It wasn't really, consistent. You know what I'm saying? So, but from 2017 to about 2022, I was hitting it pretty hard, there. So, but from, which that's where I met you in that run.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but
You had some
this
golden child shit going on.
yeah, yeah, man. So,
Yeah.
2022 to now, it's kind of life again, man. Shout out to my family. Got my kids, and like I said, I'm in grad school. So now I'll probably do like comedy at a church, or I'll host an event where I get to have a section where I'm telling jokes. It's kind of, infused with hosting. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
kind of been that kind of thing. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say probably 10 to 15 ish.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
Uh, Okay.
I don't know how to
Okay.
calculate that, but
Listen,
it's
listen,
somewhere in
listen,
there.
listen. I'll take that. I'll take that because that's gonna kick me right into my next question for you.
Mhm.
How often do you write? And two-part question. One question, two parts. Second part, how often do you write, and how do you find the time to balance writing with your everyday life?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like I kind of feel like doing stand up or any kind of like performance art. I really feel like it has to be inside of you. It's almost like a calling. Because like I said, I'm a musician first. I started playing piano when I was 9 years old to present day. Like I said, I started comedy in 2009, and I don't really write because the thing is
You
the
don't
comedy.
write well,
Well, I mean, well, hang on. Let me get it. Let me get my explanation down. I'm trying to put it together for you.
I
So
just wanted to hear what you said, make sure I heard that part right.
no,
So you
I write. But let me try to explain. Um, like I said, from 2022 to now, I hadn't really done as much stand up. I've done much like more event hosting, so I hadn't really been on the stage. But the thing I'm trying to say is, it never really turns off. Like it's almost like it's how the comedy is how I'm wired, man. So anything that happens in life, anything if I'm having a conversation with my wife or something's happening on the news, it's like I'm always like putting bits together. Like it's like how I deal with life.
so
Somebody
so your
is
so it's safe to say your bits are organic. They
Yeah,
come
it's
from
like it's like a constant process. I'll be having a serious conversation, and then somebody will say something, and I feel like there's something to punch in it. I'll say it, and it gets a laugh. I mean, it's like something. It's like a constantly. It's something that's constantly going. So that process of thinking of things never stops. But I think what I do is um, my process with writing, I always go with the things that I see on the news, and because or current events. But most of all, I do my soapbox topics. Like I know those things that I can talk about just for hours and hours and hours. I'm always thinking about those things, and I'm always thinking about how to make those funny. So it's like that process is always going on. So when I write, it's not so much that I'm sitting down and I'm trying to create something. It's more I'm just pulling down what's going on in my mind. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm not just sitting
So
and
you
like,
don't
oh,
you don't you don't force your writing at all. It ain't like
yeah, it's not.
12:30 at 2. I'm
Yeah. So
sitting
that's
12:30 to 2. I'm sitting down. I'm writing.
right. So that's what when you say how much do you write, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm
Okay.
envisioning somebody that is sitting down and they're just trying to think of something that's funny. Like, no, it's more so of it's I'm always thinking, I'm always, have different concepts of things that's going on. So the process is, all right, well, let me write down this stuff I'm thinking. It'll be like in paragraph form, because it's going. Then I'll take the paragraph and then I'll start breaking out, shortening it up and doing setup and punch and setup. And then after that, like I've never been the person that'll take a notebook or a phone on stage. Like I've never
Ah,
done
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will,
That's old school. That's
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's that's
What I would do is I have a notes on my phone, and I have the version of it that I come up with after the paragraph. And and it's the same thing throughout the day. In my mind, I'm doing that bit in my mind, whether I'm at work or whether I'm, at church or something. That how I'm going to do it at the mic or work it out. That's what I'm doing in my head, and then I just try to get to the mic and remember it. And I'll look back at my notes as a reference. I'll be like, oh, I forgot that part. So then, I'll kind of try to remember that. But yeah, it's like a continuous continuous thing. So I'm not writing per se, like trying to figure it out. It's like it's up here, and then I'll get what's up here down, and then it's back up here. So I'm just
okay. So
yeah.
with that being said, what do you feel your best joke has been? Like you
Oh
just
man.
one joke you had to say this was a monster. It always hit. This is my best joke.
Oh man. I don't know if I can say because for one, well, that's tough because you
I
can't.
mean,
But,
come on, they your
but here's the
jokes.
thing:
They
the
your jokes.
Yeah, now I know, but it's kind of hard to pick one because certain things hit in certain rooms.
D-
Like
I-
I'll go
Give me the
one place.
one joke the one joke okay. Your back to the wall, one joke, gun to your head. Go. One
Oh,
joke
okay.
that you would do. What joke would it be? What joke you
Oh
say, I'm
man,
going in my
hey,
bag and I'm gonna pull this joke out.
I'll be like, look, man, I don't know why we have any racism, man. We got a lot of racism, a lot of division going on, in the world, and because it's really no point in being a racist because when Russia blows us up, we all gonna be black. So we might as well just love each other, man. We all gonna be black.
Hey, I
You gonna
remember
be
that
black, I'm gonna
joke.
be black. When Iran blow us up, we all gonna be black. So we might as well get along.
Hey, I remember that.
And-
Hey,
and
okay. With
when
that
I
being
did it, it was
said,
North
man, Juan
Korea.
Morgan, man, welcome to So I Bomb, man. I'm you guys' host, D So Funny. Juan Morgan, man, tell us your bomb story. Take it away.
All right, check this out. Check this out. Now, you know it. Just like we got to learn how to be funny, we also have to learn how to bomb. And then people don't really, take that in consideration. Because here's the thing, man,
Come on.
Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, they had to miss the shot before they figured out how to make it, right? So it's bombing is actually essential to your development. It's so many people like they're so scared of bombing, but like if you're gonna do this thing, you gotta embrace the bomb, man. You should go into it expecting the bomb. you should go into it like, all right, you should go into it expecting the bomb, but then be surprised that it went well. That's the way you really should look at it. Because if you think about stand-up comedy, just the nature of it, nothing about it makes sense. Like, I'm gonna show up to a place full of strangers that I'm never gonna see again and make them laugh. Where does that happen anywhere else in life, right? So I think as you go along, you learn how to bomb, meaning you learn how to keep your composure, you learn how to pace yourself, or you may even have some tricks to try to punch your way out of it. You get all of that stuff like in the development, as you go along. But I think I would consider the worst time that I bombed is going to be in the early days, right? It's like when you don't have any skills, you don't have any experience. And when it first happens to you, it feels like you're going to die. it feels it feels like, I mean, because it's so many things that happens while you up there bombing, man. Like, I grew up in church, and I don't know if you grew up in church. I'm sure you've been in church, but you've been in church on Easter, right? And when you do an Easter speech, you get up there, you say your Easter speech, then you forget, right? Then the room starts closing in on you. But the difference with church is, as soon as you forget, you get support. It's like, oh, that's all right, baby. You got it. Come on, you can do this. And then the youth director is down there telling you to speak, and Jesus, So in that kind of situation, you you feel really bad, but you got a lot of support. With stand-up comedy, it don't matter if you're an open micer, it don't matter if it's your first time, it doesn't matter if this is your 1,000 to a million time doing it. You are on your own, man. There is nobody to save you. And it's like, I have never, in all of my life and all the experiences that I've been through, that is the one time that I have really truly felt the most alone is just dying on stage. I mean, listen, man, because check this out. It depends on the audience, that you go to, man. If it's a predominantly white audience, they'll watch you die in silence. Like them white folks something else. They not gonna boo you off stage. They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it go by really fast. They will watch you decompose. They'll watch you when the meat. They'll wait on the ants to come and chew you up until you turn into bones. That's how white audience is so quiet in there. It's just you and oxygen. That's all. And but black folk, like, we don't have time for that, man. If you suck, hey man, let's just get on up out of here. Like, nah, boom. That sucks too. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't suck, but I'm saying, a lot of people talk
Which
about
which one do you prefer in your bomb?
If I had a preference, I would take the white crowd, because you at least you can process your thoughts in the silence, or you can
you can just make that a new question. Who would you rather bomb in front of, a black or white?
I would look, if I'm bombing in front of white people, I can envision that I'm on the beach. It's so quiet in there, I can just disassociate. Like, look at those waves. Aren't they so beautiful? But you be bombing in front of black folks, it's survival. You need to get out. You need to have all of your senses present. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, because there's so many levels to bombing in front of black folks, man. Because for one, it's a lot colder, man, because I don't know what it is, but if you bombing in front of black folks, they got little things that they do that make you feel bad, that you don't even really think it's bad.
Can I ask you a question, though? Let me ask you this, though, since you said it. Bombing in front of black people. You brought it here, not me.
Mm-hmm.
Bombing in front of black people. That's where you brought it. Do you feel like because we're black, it hurts us a little more to bomb in front of a black crowd?
Absolutely, because that's home. you can't. You messing up at home. That's the worst feeling, man. You go somewhere. If you come home and do bad, see, that's important. It's important, man, to we talk about small victories all the time, and because you got the big victories, like you got booked with a big gig or you work with somebody famous, but the small victories, man, is like you doing good at home. That's like you building a base. That's like if you're a politician and you building your base, your home crowd. Like if you get home behind you, man, then they'll push you to the top. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But man, you bomb at the home, man. That's just you got to go back and pray. You got to say because they'll do little stuff. If you're bombing in front of black people, I tell you the few things that make you hear a black woman, you tell a joke, hey man, so I said, shoot, you better give me my money. They go, what? That is the worst thing to hear. You on stage, what? You see? Oh no, man. Oh. And then the other nightmare thing is the chatter. Like that's another thing that people wouldn't think is bad. But if you up there telling jokes and then people start, hey, man, what you need after this? Because the chatter starts low and then it gets big. It's like you walking into a ball game. Like they'll be like, hey man, hey, what up? Yeah, you up there. It is you would want to die. And here's the thing, and then there's getting booed. Like now I can say for now, which I'm not going to say, I never say never. Like I always feel like my boo is coming, right? That's what I feel like. I look at it that way because I'll say I've never been booed. Next week, guess what's happening? That's
That's
how.
comedy guys. Comedy guys.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, you hadn't been.
Very fickle.
Yeah, the comedy guys, they'll start looking through their books. They'll be like, wait a minute, this can't been booed yet? Oh no, wait, hey, you ain't been booed in 10 to 15 years? Oh no, where you gonna be at next? That's where okay, Memphis and boo. That's what.
And Memphis is not an easy audience. Hey, Memphis.
Oh
Hey,
my God,
Memphis is not an
it's
easy
not.
audience. Memphis is not
It's
an easy
not,
audience
man.
at all.
So, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with black crowds, though. The boo, I mean, it's like the yin yang, man. Like the boo is terrible, the bombing is terrible, but on the other side, the payoff is the most amazing thing from black crowds because when black people think that you really funny, they're falling on the floor. They're running and and like yelling and falling over. So like the
Yeah,
payoff there,
yeah.
I
They
think.
laugh. They laughed is definitely unmatched.
Yeah, they laugh from their soul, you know what I'm saying? So, but I've gotten off track like real bad. So here we go. Okay, so check this out, man. So I want to go back to when I was an open micer. When I started off doing open mics, my first few experiences, what you got going on, man? You on the toilet?
No, 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 no,
Now
no,
you got
no.
that background up there because you're on the toilet.
I'm adjusting. I'm
Oh, okay,
adjusting.
okay. I'm just making sure you ain't getting on the toilet. I can come back. No,
Nah,
no,
hell no.
I'm just
Hell
playing,
no. I
man.
ain't gonna drop no kids off in the pool in the middle of an interview. That'd, that'd be madness. Nah,
But check,
I'm trying to get this stand adjusted right.
I got you, I got you. But check this out, man. I'll go back to when I was an open micer. My first few times doing the open mic, and I feel like the reason that I fell in love with it so is because things were going really well. It was like, I mean, I was like, it was like I've discovered this new thing. I'm like, man, this is my thing. I'm excited about it. So like, my confidence was through the roof. My head was extremely big, right?
So how
So
many mics did you do before the bomb?
I'm going to say, this was early. I'm going to say about 10, 11, 12, 15. It was kind of in that number. I
And
was
they
kind of,
all went good?
no, well, they didn't all go good, but they didn't go terrible. Like
Okay.
I was engaging and getting compliments. I stayed afloat, see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's why I felt really good, man. But the time that I went up this one particular time, it was at the Looney Bin. Open mics was on Wednesdays, and I go in there
I remember that.
confidence out of the room. I don't think you remember this one because this one would have been around 2009, 2010 ish.
Yeah, that was before
So
my time.
yeah, so check this out. So I went in there with all the confidence that I had, and The crowd was small. The crowd was about 2 or 3 people, and the rest of them were comedians. So, like, just judging by your knowledge of that description of the audience, what can you say about it? That it's mostly comedians. So what? So what does that mean?
Comedians don't laugh.
They don't give you nothing, man. And see, here's the thing. I'm still new. I don't know that, so I kind of go in there with full optimism, and I start my set off. Now, the comedians that were present, Levantor,
Oh no.
Radio,
Oh no.
Superstar,
Oh no.
and then it was Keith Blayson,
Oh no.
and then there was a few more that were actually open mics. It was a brother named Kevin Wayne, Chris Bailey, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but that's enough to let you know like what's going on, right?
Chris Bailey was
So
doing comedy back then?
he was that we talking about this. We might be talking about a different Chris Bailey. Is the one
Okay.
you talking about is white?
Yeah. The little white
Okay,
Chris
no, the one
Bailey?
I'm talking about is black. So I know it's two
Okay.
different ones. Yeah, so yeah, this is different. But check this out, man. So um, Superstar was there at the time because he was coming through, getting people who were talented. He would take them to Memphis, and because he was working with Prescott and a whole bunch of stuff like that, so he would kind
Yeah.
of take the comics from there to Memphis to get other exposure and things like that. So that was the audience,
Yeah. He
and
definitely a cool dude.
oh yeah, shout out to Superstar. Shout out to first of all, shout out to Levantor. Shout out to Radio, RIP, man. Gosh, man. Shout out to
Yeah.
he's going on to glory now.
Yeah.
But
None of,
let me
none of
get
those
in.
guys would laugh unless you funny. If you don't, and then you got to listen, man. You got to make them laugh. Listen, and they
You
want quality jokes. They
listen,
don't want
and,
just laughter. They want quality jokes.
and you know what? I feel so good because I've gotten a nod. To this day, I've gotten a nod from each one of those guys. Levantor, Superstar, Radio. I've had a chance over time, and that's also one of the small victories, man. When you have people that's been doing it for a minute, they be like, "Hey, man, that's hey, that was
Yeah,
that was
good
pretty good.
set.
That was good." So I've had that
The
since
word is
then.
good set. Sometimes,
Yeah,
like good set, just from the right comic too. Especially a comic
right.
you respect. A
Uh-huh.
comic you respect come up and hey man, good set. You be like, hell yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Thank you. You be like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Actually,
When you
because
when you a newer comic, a comic you like say good set, you be like, thank you, thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
because I'm telling you that validation goes a long way. Because you got to think about it, man. In most cases, like we're not like Chris Rock and all of these, I mean, like Tony Rock or Jordan Rock. Not that they don't have to work for it, but most of us don't have a super famous person to look at, and when we get started, most of us we just start on our own. We just get out there, we might watch our favorite comedians, but for the most part, we don't have nobody to really look to or guide us. We get that later. But when you start this thing, man, you are just by yourself starting a thing. So when you going long enough and you start getting nods from people, I feel like that's better than any award, any kind of, because that lets you know that hey, you've built something, you've been working at it, and you're doing it. So that's all great. But back to where I'm back to my story here.
All right.
So I get into my set, I'm going, and I hit a punch, and it was dark in there, but it was like I could feel the judgment. It was like I could feel they was looking, they was like, and then I was going and I was going, and I had an enthusiasm, and I was trying to get it, hit that punch, and they was just like they was just looking. I can kind of, at the Looney Bin, if the lighting is just right, you can see silhouettes of people in the back,
Yeah,
but you can't really see their faces, right?
yeah.
But the energy was so in there, I felt like they was looking like, and that started hurting me then. So I'm going and I'm going and I'm going, and I'm still not getting nothing. And it's like at that point, the air. starts getting thick, man. It's like it feels like the air is getting thick. It feels like I'm feeling stupid because I'm like, I'm not getting no laughs. And I'm like, the stuff I'm about to say is dumber than what I've said now. So I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. I'm doubting myself. And I choked, man. I started telling the joke and I started telling it. I couldn't take it anymore. And I said, you know what, y'all? I put my hand up and I heard a collective number of black comedians say, that's my time.
Not the
So
comedians
then,
off
man,
stage said that's your time for you.
yeah, I said, you know what, guys? That's your time. I was like, I said, God, and I felt so bad because I was like, oh man, because
And that
think
was your
about it,
first and that was your first ever bomb.
I went from my head being this big to this small. So there's a lot of doubt. So to add insult to injury, um, I stayed for the whole mic. I didn't leave. I stayed the whole time. And then I went to stand around with the comedians outside the club after the night. That's the second mistake. See, I'm new. I don't know none of the
Hey,
stuff.
hey, you want to hear something?
Yeah.
I just had Tone DeMac on her other day, and that was the
Uh,
one thing he said. He's like, "Go home." He was like, "After
that's
you bomb,
man.
go home." He was like,
See, so you can tell that I'm new because I'm doing stuff you shouldn't do. I should have just left and came back and saw everybody the next week, right? I went around and I stood with everybody. Dude, the first one was Levantor. He like, man, he's like, hey, man, what's wrong with you, man? What you? He was like, man, he said, are you all right? I said, yeah, I'm all right. He said, are you sure? And I said, yeah, man, that's what he said. Man, well, man, if that's all right, I hate to see you when you have a problem. Damn, that. And then, radio
"Hey
didn't
man,
say,
Levanto, hey man, shouts out Levanto, but
yeah,
hey,
man,
dude is one of the roughest, man.
yeah.
Ooh, he's a rough one.
If this was American Idol, Levanto would be Simon. Like he was the
Listen,
no,
if
yo,
Simon was on 10X pills, Levanto would be Simon, because Levanto is off the chain, man.
yeah,
Hey, I
bro.
just seen him. He just said some shit to me, and I just be like, "What, man? Listen,
So check this out, man. So it was Levantor said that, and then Radio was next to him. But Radio, he wasn't saying nothing. He was just kind of behind him, co-signing, like he was just laughing. So that's just as bad. So then I get over into the circle with Superstar, right? And I get it there. He said, man, he said, what? He said, you started telling the joke up there. And he said, you didn't finish it, man. He said, why you didn't finish it? And I said, man, I would feel it tonight. He said, oh man, well, go ahead and finish it, man. How did it end? I wanted to hear it. Third mistake. So I went through my whole bit. Dude, I went through my whole bit and I hit the punch. And the superstar went, well, damn, I see why you didn't finish that shit, man. He said, damn, that was terrible. He said, what? Then he turned around and he said, man, hey, y'all check on him when he get home. Y'all got his number? He said, check on him. He said, man, this nigga about to OD on Flintstones vitamins, boy. This is he said he gonna
hey, but
OD on Flintstones vitamins, boy.
can
Y'all
we
check
be
on him.
honest though? Comedy was two different things, and every era comedy has changed. Because in
Right.
that era, when you did bad, man, they drove your ass, man. They
They
drove.
drove it. And
I caught the laugh at that because, like, now they all nice to you and shit when you bomb. A nigga will
yeah.
watch you bomb and walk up and say, "Good set." Like, nah, my nigga, I was up there. I seen it. It was
Yeah.
good. I was, I lived that. So
It
for you to
has
walk up to me
changed.
and say, "Good set," and I just bombed, to me, that's
Yeah.
the most disrespectful thing. Oh, I'd
Yeah.
rather you slap the shit out of me than do that, man. That's some old ass shit.
It's a culture. It's a culture difference, man. I think social media has been good in a lot of ways, as far as branding yourself and things like that. Especially like for me, got a family and all this kind of stuff. I can build an audience here and then go where I need to go, whether having to leave. So it's been really
Yeah.
convenient. But I think it's messed up that kind of culture, where you have people who are established and been there, and they're real strict and real disciplinarians, because a lot of times they were just trying to see. I mean, because they bombed before, they've been in that exact same place. But a lot of time, I think they were like kind of like gatekeeping, like they were just trying to make sure, where your heart was. Where is he gonna stick around? Is he gonna come back and work on it? Because well, not for everybody, but for the most part, they would be rooting for you, but they wasn't gonna tell you that. If they saw that you kept coming back and you started getting a little better and you started doing that, then they would kind of be like, "Well, hey man, try this, do this, and all that." But yeah, at first, they just trying to see, where your nerves were and all that kind of stuff. But boy, let me
Yeah.
tell you, man,
I,
that
Memphis, man. I listen. I'm telling you, Oscar P put one down on me after I bombed one time. Boy, I put my hand out. I said, "Oh, I wouldn't want none of that bomb to get on me."
I
Ah, it
know it.
made me so. It was just like
Yeah,
it was like not right. But then when you learn, like when them older comics do that and they see you stick around and they still do it, it's kind of like that's what they did to each other. They drove each other when each other
yeah,
did bad. But it kind of motivated you to do good because like I gotta do good or else they finna drive me when I get out here. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
And that
And
kind of
and,
makes me
and,
think
and
of
I think we gotten away from that. And I think that I'm gonna just be honest. I think they kept a lot of people away from comedy, man.
yeah,
Man, you suck. You should quit. I really should. If you
yeah,
let somebody tell you that, then yeah, you don't want to do comedy for real. You don't
yeah.
want to be a stand for real.
And that makes me I want to go back to kind of what I said before, because I said a lot of this, being a comedian, I feel like it's inside of you. Like, if it's something that you really, really like, um, that that's what keeps you coming back to it, right? Because you would have some nightmare situations, but then I recall leaving places that didn't go good, and I would be upset, but I would be wanting another stage. You know what I mean? I'm like, dang man, that sucked, man. I need to find it. Who else is
Yeah.
open? Like,
I,
I'm like, at this
and see
point, I'll go to a
that
Denny's and I'll
listen,
go to a Denny's
that's
and
the
tell
true
Joseph,
sign
get
of
this
a
taste out
comic
of my
though.
mouth.
When we bomb, that's the true sign of a comic. When we bomb, we want to get right back on stage. I think
Yeah,
that's when you really got that eye of the tiger, as I call it, that
yeah,
glow.
because
That what I'm saying. You this what you want to do because it's like the bomb. It phase you in a way to where it's like I gotta go back up there.
yeah.
But for me, let me we hit a few more questions, then we get you out of here, man. We don't want to hold you all day.
I got you. I
Uh,
got you.
okay. This one I gotta ask you this personally. Uh, as a comedian, man, getting to now become an announcer, which is where all comedians end up as the host or being the announcer of something big. Do you pitch yourself still? Like, do you pitch at the end? Hey, I'm Juan Morgan. I've been your host, and I do weddings, bar mitzvahs. Do. Do you pitch yourself still? Because there's a lot of people with them games, man. And I'm thinking that's like that got to be pretty. Yeah, man. They be like, yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna have somebody officiate the wedding.
yeah. I feel you, man. Um, it's the hustle with it is a lot similar to doing stand up as far as networking and introducing yourself. Now, as far as like doing football games and arenas and stuff like that, I don't really plug myself. I'm not saying that you can't, but like, if you had a junior high football game, you're not gonna get on there. Hey man, y'all get on Instagram. The way that kind of works is
I
I
mean,
do a
but
really
this is my question. Why
uh,
why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you and all them people there say, hey, I'm your host, so and so. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and such. I mean,
yeah. I'm not saying that you can't
no,
do it.
I'm asking. Listen,
You
I'm
know what
not
I'm
saying
saying?
you just right or wrong. Whoa. Slow
Uh,
down. I'm not. You said you just wouldn't get on there at a high school and do that. So now I'm
mhm.
asking, like, why wouldn't you? Like,
So like,
where's the downfall in your comedy? So would you say your comedy is just not for that age demographic, or or would it be a thing of okay, well, let me pitch to the parents then, to the adults
yeah,
that's here.
I feel like the way that you do that in that space is when I show up, which you've heard me announce before, like I do all the bells and
Man,
whistles. Like I
you're
sound like I try my best when either if I'm doing a high school game or a Pee Wee football game, I get on there and make it sound like we in the NFL. Like I'll do that kind of thing rather than doing a pitch like that. I like to show up and do a really good job like that, and then just kind of create a buzz with people. Because like the one thing I say, like I want to show up and do such a good job that when I'm not there, people are asking like, "Well, where's the other guy? Where's he at?" And that's in that space. That's how that's worked because I'll get on the microphone. They're hearing me the whole game. I get stopped by somebody that works at Euler, and then they'll be like, "Hey, you do announcing? Well, can you come do volleyball?" So that's how I did. I ended up doing Euler soccer and Euler volleyball, just that way. So like people will come up after hearing you, kind of doing like that. So that's
okay.
kind of how I
So
approach
it
that in
sells
that
itself.
space.
It sells itself.
Yeah, because if people are needing an announcer or if they're needing a host. Now, when I'm hosting events, it's a little bit different. I'll do that, but it'll be more when I'm talking. Um, I'll be talking to people directly, because there'll be a person that booked you as the host, so they kind of know that's what you do. I'll try to do a really good job there, and then talking to
Yeah.
people,
What?
like
It's more
I'll
about
be like,
word of mouth. Yeah, word
yeah.
of mouth. I dig it.
So that's kind of
Okay.
I don't yeah.
Okay. So now with that being said, what's the one thing that amazes you about stand up today? Like the one thing, like just one thing you like, hey man, this is just so cool from when you first started to now.
So you mean like something that's going on today that
Yeah,
wasn't going
like
on
there
before?
wasn't going on when you first started. Or is anything going on? Like
Um, that's an
is it something
interesting.
that's impressed you where you like, oh, they're doing this now and that's really impressive? Or is it
I think the thing that I would say about that is kind of what I said before, because like social media has leveled the playing field to where I can be here in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and I can build 1 million followers here, and then that will
and
open up.
have done it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I could get 1 million followers here and grow a fan base here, and then I'm able to like book myself or move where I need to move from where I am. So especially like people like me now with a wife and kids and in grad school, that's a way that, like as before, like 20, 30 years ago, you had to leave. You had to go to the well-populated areas or you had to move
Okay,
around and be
okay.
where the action was. So
Okay,
I think,
so social media is your answer. So now that answer leads me into this.
all right.
Who is one old school comic you think that would have done amazing on social media? Just had to pick one.
One who would have did amazing on social media.
Listen, would have set social media on fire.
Now, when we say old, how old?
Listen, man, now you can go back to vaudeville, man. I know my comics.
I got you.
Back to
Who
the
would have been
slapstick
great
era.
on social media?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Comics
a, that's.
social media was not in their era, but they'd have been great on social media.
Oh man, I hope I don't ramble with this answer, but one of the things, because I think it would have to be an older comedian that would also be successful on social media, because if you look back, you go back to like the days of like Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and John Witherspoon, Robin Harris, Paul Mooney, all of those, that era, it was like they had to have the talent and the skill to make it. Like it's nowadays, more likely you could know somebody or you could kind of get by with half doing it, but back in those days, you look at the performances of any older comedian, they they had to be funny or they had to be talented or they didn't eat. So that's why you look back at all of this old footage, man, and you see so many. And here's the thing: like back in the day, like when Richard Pryor came up, they had to be like multifaceted because Richard Pryor didn't only do stand up; he also did dance and he sang. So they would do like variety stuff. So it was like even back to like Red Fox's day, they had to have multiple skills in the bag because not only they were dealing with segregation and Jim Crow and all of that kind of stuff, they had to really really stand out. So, oh man, I think since the older comedians were so multifaceted, they were able to do so many different things. I feel like there's a I feel like there's a whole bunch of them that could have succeeded in this space.
And,
Whereas
and,
today,
and just give me one.
uh,
Pick one.
I don't know who that one is because as opposed to today, people are get famous on here doing fart jokes, and
I
then
know. I know, and that's why this what makes the question hard because some of the
yeah,
material that they did. So you have to look at the
yeah,
material that they did too now.
yeah, no, because
So you gotta look at it because see, you want to say, oh, this guy because he was good at this, or this guy because he was good at that. But some of that material, like Red Fox, man, some of the things that they said and did then
yeah,
wouldn't be acceptable now.
it would not, it wouldn't. So
So you have to take that into consideration.
that makes this too hard because you
I
know
mean,
what though? Well,
listen.
here's the. I will say this though. I will say this though. Now, if you look at them older comedians now, like you said, they got really raw, and a lot of the content, wouldn't survive today. But another thing that you saw them do, all of them, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, even Paul Mooney, is they were versatile enough to go to different spaces. So when you popped on the album of Paul Mooney or Richard
Yeah,
Pryor or Red Fox, it was raw. It was
but my
Ray Buck.
rebuttal on
But
that.
here's what I'm saying: they all had the ability to go on late night. Johnny Carson, David Letterman, they could flip it. So it's they all had the versatility. Because go back and look at them black and white
They
videos
they
of
they
Richard Pryor.
they did they did, but what they were known for at the time was considered edgy. It wasn't considered like now it's offensive. Like it's like, oh,
Yeah,
we didn't think about it at that time. They didn't have a culture where somebody else could get offended for you. You never
yeah,
heard of a
no,
white
yeah, they
person getting
didn't.
offended for a black person
Right,
back then. I'm
right,
gonna go
right.
stick up for
No,
you.
but no,
They gonna
like
talk to the manager for you.
a lot of allies. When allies.
Yeah, it wasn't that type of situation back then. So
Um,
I
I
mean
think
I know who I think it is, but I just be trying to see if comics,
you
just
know
do
what
comic brain.
my answer is going to be safe, and I almost feel bad about it. This is the safe answer. I'm just going to say Eddie Murphy because here's the thing: he did Raw and Delirious, and he dropped the F bomb and all that kind of stuff on there. But he also did SNL, which that was a sketch show. He also did family movies. He did Carson, and he's able to act and he's able to do characters. The things that you see on social media, people doing characters, people doing sketches, people doing just commentary, just being funny, which that would be like stand up. He had those abilities then, and he did them in different spaces. So I'm gonna go with Eddie.
Okay, I did Eddie. My guy, me personally, is Flip Wilson. I think Flip would have been
Oh, Flip for the
amazing
same.
on social media.
Oh yeah,
I think Wilson would have truly been like he'd have been ultra viral.
yeah. Well, for the same
Yeah,
reasons, right? The
yeah,
same
yeah,
reasons I
yeah.
pick Eddie because
Like
uh,
Flip was
he
one of
was
those people, man. Think about it in a time when people couldn't do it, and
mhm,
the fact that he was the first black TV superstar. Everybody liked to think
right.
it was Bill Cosby, but it was actually Flip
Oh no,
Wilson. Flip
no
Wilson
Flip.
was the first black face in every white home living room. He was the first
So
black man to do that.
Well, the reason that you picked Flip is kind of the same reason I picked Eddie, because think about it. He came up during the time he was was he the first black person to have a TV show, whether he
Yeah,
was or not, whether he
yeah.
was or not.
A variety show like what he had, you
Yeah.
know, like what he
So
had. His show made way for the Richard Pryor show.
right.
You know.
So he was able to do characters like he did Geraldine, and he did all of that. He did
Well,
sketches.
not only did he do Geraldine, but he was the first one with a female persona so big that it overshadowed his career. Like his
That
female persona was so big, like
yep.
Geraldine was so big, like he went
It
viral when there was
upstaged him.
no going viral with Geraldine. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, Geraldine upstaged him, and
Yeah.
I don't know if
He
I
he
don't know if
he,
he
he,
liked that much.
he went viral with Geraldine before you could go viral. It was that type of
Right.
money with Geraldine. It was one of those
Yeah.
things where it was a phenomenon. Like people
Yes.
would meet him and be like, "Oh, do Geraldine," and he'd be like, "But Flip's
Yeah.
right
Like no.
here."
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, Flip's right
I
here.
agree
And
with
they'd be
that.
like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, but do Geraldine."
Yeah, I agree with that. So and there was
So
music on the show, and also he was a host as well, right? So he had the Jackson Five coming on. He had, um,
yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can I tell you the coolest thing I saw with a clip of Flip Wilson. He had a sketch with Red Fox, and so he had him on the show. They did the little sketch, and at the end of the show, well, hey, Red, you got this new show coming out called Sanford and Sons, going to debut next Monday. Best luck to you, bud. Thank you very much. And that was he kicked off Sanford and Son, man. Come on,
Come on, man.
that's
Come
what I'm
on, a
saying.
legendary TV show.
I mean,
Legendary TV
yeah,
show. Probably was the first, probably the first one that had Red on the show and shoot it like that. But you know they had
right,
all that set up from one network to another. Well, okay,
yeah.
okay. With that being said, man, thank you for coming on telling the Bond story today. Tell everybody where they can find you, man. What you got going on next? Anything you want to know? Any special messages you want to send out? This your time to do it, man.
All right, man. Well, you all can follow me here on Instagram. And I've been slow on content creation, but you can find me at the WM Live here on Instagram. Um, I'm trying to get back to it, man. Like I said, I got a lot of irons in the fire, but I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. I miss it. I ain't gonna sit up, man. Like, I've been off of it, and it's. I feel like the stage has been calling me all over the place. You know what
It's
I'm
like a
saying? So
drug, man. It's like a drug.
it's man. You got to take a hit. Yeah, I've been in rehab. I'm trying to.
Hey, it's like a drug, man.
It is.
I can honestly say it's the one thing I enjoy doing. I think almost more than anything, man. Being on stage, even when it's going bad, I love to
Right.
be up there. I
And yeah,
love to be on stage.
it's great to find something like that. Like for me, I feel that same way about music too. Like I'll go play the piano, and just like I said, comedy always rotates in my head. Things for music does too, man. I be thinking about what fits for what and all that. So it's good to find the things that helps you be expressive and bring you joy and bring other people joy. So
Hey,
absolutely,
it's
man. No
definitely
doubt.
nothing wrong with spreading joy and laughter. Okay, with that being said, man, listen, word of the day, arts are under attack, man. I need you, yes, you looking at this right now, man, to go and support a live show, man. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be comedy. I prefer it be comedy because I'm a comedian and we don't like telling jokes to the chairs. I mean, we'll do it, but we don't like to do it.
Right.
But the arts are under attack, man. After COVID, people coming out to live entertainment is down. We need y'all to come
Mhm.
out to our houses, man. We can't sit up. We can't sit in the houses, man. We can't sit stagnant any longer, man. The arts are under attack, man. We need you to not just go see Beyonce and who else on tour right now? Usher. We need y'all
Yeah.
to not just go see Beyonce and Usher. We need y'all to go see a little guy, man. You know what I'm saying? We need y'all to go see a down home personal show because those guys can't get to Beyonce and Usher level without y'all coming to see us, man. You
Yeah.
know. With that
Just
being
start.
said,
I'll say, hey, come see us right now so y'all can get pictures with us. And then when we blow up, you can tell everybody how you knew us and lie.
yeah, 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 yeah. I used to come to all his shows,
Oh,
and
man, you
you
know,
know
I
your
used to.
girlfriend drug you to a show one time because you and her had gotten into it. And he was kind of funny, but you never thought his career would be all this. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like, that's the reality of it. Nah, but with
right.
that being said, man, this has been another episode of So I Bomb. I'm back tomorrow with, I'm not mistaken, Richard Douglas Jones, man. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
it
So
doesn't.
it's gonna be a good time tomorrow, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Juan Morgan, man, thank you, my guest, for coming out today, sharing a bomb story, man, opening up, doing the interview. With that being said, I'm your host, D So Funny, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 12 o'clock. This has been So I Bombed, and I'm gone.
All right. Peace.